We've been in regular contact with the Lucari, and they've recently unveiled a new starship designed for space exploration. They're eager to head out into the unknown, and they've asked us to give them a hand. Starfleet has decided to send you to assist them in their first voyage beyond their home system. This is an exciting time for the Lucari. Watch over them and help them to see the value of space exploration, and let them make discoveries and follow their sense of wonder. Just don't let them get in over their heads.
We've arrived in the Lucari system, Admiral. Their civilization hails from a moon orbiting a nearby gas giant. I'm reading their starship in standard orbit there. I'm picking up some comm traffic. Sounds like they're in the middle of a discussion with a Ferengi daimon. Helm, take us to the Lucari ship.
My dear friend Kamarka, just think about how much I can help.
I try not to think about you at all, Marjorie.
Well, if it isn't Starfleet's finest, welcome to the Lucari system. I am Damon Modron, the sole owner of trading rights in this system. My Lucari friends and I were just in the middle of some delicate negotiations. But I'm sure I can spare a little time if you'd like to make a trade.
That won't be necessary, Daimon. Our business is with the Lucari.
Oh, come now. I'm sure we can reach an agreement that is to everyone's liking. I'm prepared to offer you an exclusive, once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity.
Tavrel, cut the channel. Hail the Lucari.
Thank you. That insistent Ferengi has been trying to make new trade deals with us since he first visited our system. Oh, everything he tries to sell is either broken or worthless.
Our mission is important. Tell me, what inspired the Lucari to explore space?
We settled this moon long ago after we were forced to leave our dying homeworld of Kentar. It was a difficult journey for us. Once we found our new home, no one was very excited about space travel. Recently, our home star was nearly extinguished by the Tholians. That led many of us to realize that we can't just sit at home anymore. We must be ready to face the galaxy on our own terms. The exploration initiative passed, and we purchased and modified the ship you see before you, the LSS Concordium. Based on my experience as an administrator and scientist, I was chosen to command her. It was an honor I accepted with pride and humility. Our ship is ready to go, and you are.
Tell me a bit about your ship.
While we have some catching up to do, we've engaged the best engineering minds of our world to modify this vessel. I'm quite proud. We've done a lot in a very short period of time. We've added some of your defensive technology to this ship, as well as some warp drive upgrades. The Concordium is now capable of sustaining a top speed of just over Warp 4. Our collaboration with your engineers has been quite inspirational. We've started work on a starship of our own design, one of many to follow the Concordium to the stars. Our ship is ready to go, and you are.
Let's proceed.
For our maiden voyage, I've chosen a star that is close enough to be within reach, but still just outside the area of space that you've explored, and obviously one that we haven't visited yet. According to your star charts, it's a yellow-white star called 20 Draconis.
Navigation, prepare the course.
This isn't over. Believe me, the next deal we make will be on my terms.
Okay.
We've arrived on the outskirts of the system. There's a large field of rocky debris and asteroids. We're picking up various metals and crystalline formations. Should we approach one of the larger asteroids and take some more readings?
Yes, we'll head to one of the larger asteroids and scan it.
Readings coming in now. Large quantities of silicate, hematite, hafnium, iridium. Crystalline structures appear to be the result of deposits created under a heavy impact. Perhaps this asteroid was part of a larger one that broke up in a collision. Heading deeper into the field may yield more clues.
Agreed. Let's head deeper into the field.
Sensors are picking up some movement on the far side of the asteroid. Not simple orbiting debris either. Beautiful. Do you have any information about them?
They're called Gekli. We're sending you data files on them now.
Intriguing. The Gekli communicate using radio waves and feed on dust particles and energy emissions. And, oh, it seems an adjustment of our EM band is in order. I don't like the idea of the Concordium becoming a Gekli food source.
We're adjusting our own EM band down to 0.002 cycles as well.
We've adjusted our power systems. I'd like to gather more data on the Gekli before we move on. Any suggestions?
We could tag them with subspace data transmitters.
An excellent idea. We'll be able to track their movements and learn more about their migratory patterns and feeding habits. We'll need to get close in order to attach the tags safely.
Agreed. Get close to the Gekli and attach the tags with minimal force. Poof.
Data's coming in from the Gekli. I'd like to expand the number of tagged subjects to optimize data collection. Let's get close enough to slip in with a pod and join them in their swimming.
Right. We'll fly to a Gekli pod and join them as they swim through space.
They're treating us like one of their own. They're trying to talk to us with their radio waves. That was incredible. What a singular experience. We've spotted a larger group of them in an area not too far from here. This looks like a feeding ground for several Gekli pods. Let's go have a look.
Very well. Helm, take us to the Gekli feeding grounds.
There are signs that several Gekli pods frequent this area. There's a lot of dust and particulate matter, but we can't see how the asteroids are getting broken down. I think there's something we're not seeing on the visible spectrum. Your ship has a stronger deflector than ours. Can you emit a particle wave? We could use that to illuminate things that might be happening in different spectra.
We can emit a multi-spectrum particle wave.
There's some kind of subspace shearing here. It's causing cosmic strings to snap off and break up the asteroids. That must be why the Gekli feed here. There's plenty of particulate matter for them to consume in the debris fields. I think we've collected some solid data here. We're ready to move on when you are.
Let's see what lies ahead then.
Sensors are reading a swarm of comets passing by this stellar body. They look to have an orbital period of about 173 of your standard years. I'd like to know if they came from outside of the system and were caught in its gravity, or if they originated here. Shall we take some scans?
That's a good way to begin.
This comet is mostly ice and dust. There are indications that the cometary matter formed around a magnetic core. The other comets may be more interesting. Let's move to the other comets and study them closely.
Agreed. Let's check out the remaining comets.
The core sample shows signs of magnetic radioactive matter. This comet may have seen some interesting particle fields in its wandering.
The magnetic core must help to draw in the material that forms the corona. Data
Holding the
gathering
comet
complete.
let us get some detailed readings about its emissions. Based on the structure of its silicate crystals, it's been in a pattern. It picks up energy from its trip near the star, then loses that energy as it loops past the planets. It's like ice melting and refreezing, but it seems to lose a large quantity of energy all at once near here. I'm not sure why. The radioactivity should be steady.
Perhaps something is draining the energy away. Let's keep looking.
These comets seem to have a long orbit that coincides with the orbit of a Class A planet nearby. I'd like to launch a probe and see if the cometary movements have had any impact on the planet.
Agreed. Let's launch a probe and collect some more detailed readings.
Probe data received. The planet is radiating a considerable amount of heat for its size. Nothing our shields can't handle, but I don't see any expeditions to its surface happening anytime soon. Curious. I'm picking up several large, moving sources of energy. Sensors indicate they're a life form of some kind. A cosmozoan, but not the Gekli. I'd like to study them if we can.
Let's go take a closer look at those life forms.
The creatures are luminescent ovoids? I'm not sure how to describe them. They remind me of an aquatic life form native to Lucari Prime. There are little ones huddling close to the planet's atmosphere. They must use the heat and the planet's electrical discharges to survive.
They're a type of Canardian. We're sending your files now.
Interesting. These life forms were encountered by the USS Enterprise D on Deneb 4, someplace called Farpoint Station. They haven't been seen anywhere else since. We shouldn't harm them or their young. Let's transmit a greeting, then be on our way.
Right. We'll move close and transmit a greeting to the Cosmozoans.
The color display must be a form of communication. I didn't realize that life forms could exist in this fashion, living off the heat of planets, feeding on the particles in space, absorbing radiation from the cosmos. There's so much to see. Let's head to the next planet in the system and see what's there. Are you seeing this? My sensors indicate this planet is completely devoid of any organic material, and yet it has a breathable atmosphere and lies well within the system's habitable zone. Most curious.
Agreed. I think a closer look is in order, Captain.
I'm picking up residual levels of radiation. Oh my. I believe I know what happened to this world. Some kind of proto-matter wave happened here.
Protomatter? That's dangerously unstable.
Not if you know how to resolve the chaotic turbulence with a tarfine reduction. This was a recent event. Some kind of proto-matter incident happened, and it wiped out all life on the planet. I think we should send an away team down to learn more.
Agreed. We'll beam down to see what's happening.
Oh, not sure I'll ever get used to transporters. Let's see. Initial scans suggest this area used to be inhabited, but I can't find a single trace of organic matter. None. I see some carvings on those canyon walls. Let's take a look.
The pillar near the canyon wall looks interesting as well.
The walls of this canyon were worked by tools. I'm sure of it. Sentient life forms lived here until the proto-matter detonation. This pillar here, it seems to be a sign pointing to that canyon. Perhaps a pathway there leads to a settlement of some kind. I'm reading metallic objects there as well. Shall we take a look?
Yes, let's follow this path through the canyon.
Look, there's a large structure within the canyon. Look at the size of the plaza. These people must have had quite a developed culture. This looks like a Take town some readings square up there, or ceremonial center of some kind. I see some murals on the far side of the square over there by that arch. I'd like to examine them. They might tell us more about this place.
Agreed. Let's examine the nearby murals.
These murals depict people bringing some objects to this place. Crystals or gems, I believe. They built their settlement around this site. I believe it was a place of great significance to them. The next mural may hold more clues for us. Let's have a look.
Right, let's check out the next mural.
This mural depicts the construction of this large structure. I suspect it was a temple or a place of contemplation for the people. The crystals were revered by the locals, perhaps even worshipped by them. We'd better have a look at the next mural, don't you think?
Yes, let's examine the next mural.
The crystals depicted in this mural appear to be growing for some reason. I wonder if this is a symbolic or literal representation of events. Perhaps the structure needed to be modified to hold the volume of crystals they collected over the years.
The crystals may have grown through natural means as well.
Quite the enigma we found here. I suspect there's more to be found inside. Getting there will be a challenge, however. According to my scans, these pillars are connected to some kind of massive mechanical structure. Probably the peak of technology for these people. I believe it's some kind of opening mechanism for the structure's door.
Can we open it by deploying some kind of device or using our tricorders?
We could probably force it open, but that could damage the structure, and too much force could even collapse it entirely. I suggest we create a holographic forensic reconstruction.
A holographic recreation of local life?
Yes, it would be based on analysis of things like footprints, wear patterns, and local construction. We can learn what people did here, how they went about their lives, and how they made the device work. We'd be watching a replay of history, roughly speaking. Let's start by gathering information from relics and leftover traces of the people who once lived here.
Let's look for old tools, footprints, anything that could tell us about them.
These artifacts were used with opposable thumbs and indicate a likely handspan of 22 centimeters. Based on these footprints, these people had a stride that places them at about 1.6 meters on average. The wear patterns here show us that people leaned against here frequently. This was a meeting and gathering area. Strange. These relics should be covered with dust and sand, worn away by time and wind. But they're all uncovered. No organic matter left, and everything left behind in its place. Frozen in time, like...
Like these people died recently.
Yes. The evidence seems clear. The proto-matter detonation happened only weeks, perhaps even days ago. We're going to need to make an accurate simulation to continue our studies here. I suggest using modified pattern enhancers to do this.
Agreed. We'll set up the modified pattern enhancers in the plaza.
Enhance online. The signal is strong here. 2 down, 2 to go. That's 3. 1 more, and we're ready. That's the last one. All enhancers online and standby. Alright. The enhancers should give us a pretty good image range. Your tricorder can then act as the center of the network control for the enhancers. I can tie in my data to your tricorder whenever you're ready. Get a little closer to the center of the square so we can see what happens.
Alright, let's get closer to the plaza so we can begin.
Note the aliens using pillars as order. Then we can match up. Looks like some kind of functionary, priest or bureaucrat, I think, would unlock the door by turning the murals on the pillars. The top mural on each pillar seems to be locked in place for reference. We should follow the order they used on the pillar murals. If we can turn them correctly, I believe we'll unlock the door.
Turn the murals on the pillars in the proper order, unlock the door. Got it.
That's it! It's working! Well done! Shall we see what secrets this building holds? I think I see another mural inside the doorway. We should take a look at it.
Yes, let's go inside and check out the next mural.
Isn't that the symbol of your Starfleet? How did it get here? How could it be in a temple of people who don't even have electricity, much less space travel? This is getting stranger by the minute. We should search the temple for more murals.
Indeed. Let's look for some more murals in here.
Those people in the picture, they don't look like the others.
They're from Starfleet, but Starfleet of the 23rd century.
What happened here? If Starfleet officers contacted this civilization in the past, why wouldn't you have a record of it? We should head deeper into the temple and continue our search.
Affirmative. Time to search for answers deeper in the temple.
I think the panel on the wall here can be pushed to open something. Those inner doors across from the panel are opening. What is all of this? According to my tricorder, we've reached ground zero. This is where someone detonated the protomatter bomb. From here, a self-propagating cascade of proto-energy radiated outward in all directions, washing over the entire planet.
Could this have been a failed terraforming project?
Doubtful. I believe what did this was built specifically as a weapon. There's no new ecosystem. All life was eliminated. I'm picking up a residual energy signature here. Take a look. 16 centimeter wavelength with a slight kaon leak. I've seen this before. It's a byproduct of Zenkethi technology.
Zenkethi here? Sir, we found a derelict space station in orbit around this planet. It's unpowered and covered in decades of dust, which made it hard to pinpoint in the asteroid ring. Unfortunately, we aren't the only ones to find it. Several starships have arrived in the system and they're laying claim to the station. What should we do? Give me a site-to-site transport directly to the station. Keep the Lucari ship protected. Engaging site-to-site transport. We're on one of the old K-Series Federation deep space stations, but how did it get out here? What happened to it? There's a placard over on the wall. Let's see if there's anything recognizable. It says Deep Space K-13. Admiral, that station was lost in time over 100 years ago. Lost in time and space. K-13 was in the Beta Quadrant before.
You're trespassing. I'm claiming this station as salvage, along with everything in it. A little piece of history like this will be quite the vacation site. Experience life on the final frontier at Modron's K-13. But I digress. Unless you're here to discuss leasing opportunities, I suggest you beam off my station.
It's not your station yet. I think I'll take a look around.
Careful. This old beauty needs some serious repairs. It'd be a shame if something happened to you, or the active stasis pods my friend found on board.
I'd see to it that nothing like that happens, Damon. Far out.
Fair warning. My Nausicaan gods aren't very fond of intruders.
They've managed to activate some of K-13's security
I'd be
fields.
happy to sell the gods to you. Consider their living contents a promotional bonus.
Admiral, this technology is ancient but surprisingly functional, at least a rudimentary level. They built things to last in the 23rd century. The Nausicaans managed to get partial power online, but they did it in a hurry. It could go down at any moment. In the meantime, I've managed to drop those security fields. We can access other parts of the station now. Anything else in the computer? There are some log files in the computer as well. Most of them are garbled, but I believe I can restore the last entry. Let's hear it.
Chief Engineer's Log. Supplemental. By my account, we've been hurled back in time to the 16th century. To make matters worse, we're a very long way from the Deneva system. None of our shuttles are warp-capable, and even if we could get to Earth, we'd be in the wrong time. In short, we're stuck. There's nothing to do now but wait and try to conjure up a way to get back to the right time.
This computer's lost the ability to link to the main computer, but with the security fields down, we can get into the other lab. From there, we may be able to get into the main computer and lock the Nausicaans out. That will keep them from bringing the fields back online or using the station to stop us. Let's see what we can find in the other lab.
The fines for trespassing are quite severe, and I plan on collecting them.
Chief Engineer's Log, March 18th, 1570. Had a discussion this morning with security about our Klingon prisoners in the brig. We can't just leave them locked up, or execute them, or exile them on the planet below. Setting them free isn't a popular notion either. We're still looking for options, but I think the stasis pods we have in medical will come in handy real soon.
I'm locking the Nausicaans out of the main computer. That will keep them from taking over any more of the station's subsystems. Good work. Any more information? There's another log entry, Admiral. Play it.
Chief Engineer's Log, April 17th, 1570. Today we visited the planet we're calling Draconis 3 to collect supplies. The good news, there's a humanoid civilization down there. The bad news, a potential Prime Directive violation. Our landing party was seen beaming in by some of the locals. We're hoping that doesn't impact their culture in any way. One thing's for sure, they can't help us go home. Their tech level is Bronze Age at best.
Admiral, the station's so old and badly damaged that most of the security systems don't work anymore. However, if we can take over the central hub, we can lock it down and keep the Nausicaans from bringing anyone else over. Acknowledged. Let's secure the central hub of the station.
Trying my patience is going to cost you dearly.
They're not there. Just close your eye. They're actually in there. Just glitches.
Chief Engineer's Log, August 6th, 1570. The Warp Booster Sled project is officially a bust. When we tried to spin up the coils, we couldn't get a stable warp field. Yashvi and Arlington managed to shut it down and stop a breach, but the shuttle's impulse drive is shot. I hate giving up, but we just don't have the parts we need to make it work. Chief Engineer's Log, July 9th, 1571. It's decided. Most of us are going into cryosleep. Those who stay awake, well, there's the rub. Going to live on a remote part of the planet below is likely, despite the Prime Directive issues. Staying here isn't viable. When the supplies are gone and the remaining power is in the stasis pods, anyone left is a goner. This station will be there too.
Nasty. Auxiliary power is coming up now, activating a low-level scattering field that will prevent the Nausicaans from beaming over reinforcements. Excellent. Anything else? I found one last log entry in there, Admiral. Afraid the rest of the computer's memory is heavily corrupted. Put it on screen.
Chief Engineer's Log, July 26th, 1571. Most of us went into stasis this morning. There weren't enough pods for everyone. 3 of us had to stay awake. We drew lots, and Tavon, Sheridan, and I were the lucky winners. Since we're out of options, we've decided to go native and live out our lives under Conus 3. Hopefully, one day our records will be found, and the people of Station K-13 will be remembered.
Rule of Acquisition 431. When the shooting starts, let the mercenaries handle it. Handle this, Captain!
Admiral, we need you back on the ship right away. Madrin and his Nausicaan allies are moving to intercept us and the Concordium. Beam us up.
I see you took out the Nausicaans on my station. I'll just add their fees to your tab. I do hope you're good for it. Otherwise, I might have to take possession of that pretty ship of yours. Come to think of it, I'll be taking your ship anyway. Whether you're alive or not when I do is up to you.
You're welcome to try it, Diamond. I don't think you'll like the results.
Get us out of here! Maximum warp!
That was quite an adventure. I knew Madrin was greedy and treacherous, but I never thought he was willing to kill to get what he wants. In spite of that, I feel like we've learned so much out here, and for the better.
It's often like this, Captain. Dangerous, but also filled with discovery.
Indeed. I'd say our first flight was a success. Now we need to share our discoveries with everyone back home. I hope today's events will convince my people of the continued need to explore and to be part of the galactic community. With luck, we'll do this again sometime, and soon. On behalf of the Lucari people, thank you.
You're welcome, Captain. Safe travels. I'd say that these events are better described as harrowing. The Zenkethi have been quiet for years. Now they're using proto-matter bombs and committing genocide. There's also the problem of K-13. How did it even get here? I'll put in a call for the fleet to send repair teams. The fleet can take command of this piece of history. All stations have reported in. We can depart on your orders, Admiral.
I'm happy to hear the Lucari handled their first experience with space exploration well. There's talk of their desire to join the Federation, and from what I'm seeing, they'd be fine members. The mystery of Station K-13 has been solved, although the past violation of the Prime Directive by some of its personnel is a concern. Hopefully the crew preserved in stasis pods will be able to shed a little more light on that situation. Finally, this news of a Zenkethi protomatter weapon is disturbing. I'll be looking into it from all angles, diplomatic and military in particular. We've fought a war with them before, and I'd prefer avoiding another now.